Alright, let's go ahead and get starting with the stream. Actually, I just realized I forgot to do something. Okay, maybe 1 second. I need my little thingy, my little device loaded up and running. I have a little device beside me that allows me to control my avatar. Hopefully, actually, maybe we should... Ooh, that would require a port. Maybe we can try and generate something. Remove Sammy completely from the equation. Ooh, that would be, that'd be an interesting feat to do. To be fair, though, it'd probably be easier just to not rewrite something like that. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, last thing to do is send out a message. There we go, and done. Alright, let's start. Let's start. There we go. Alright. Happy, what is today, Thursday? Yeah, happy Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday. Ooh, it's the 19th. Oh, why? Time's flying, Either way, happy Thursday. Hope everyone's doing well. I released the video over on the gaming channel. It's just, I'm having fun just making shorts. Apparently, Kurt Kashat, or in a nutshell, man, their name is so difficult. It's German, and I haven't done German in so long, so I forget sometimes how to pronounce them. But Kirkashot is releasing a video game. It's called Starbirds, and it looks very, very fun. Oh, I want to play it. I really do want to play it. They do have a demo, and I think I've already sunken in. There's only like 3 or 4 levels, but I already sunk in like 7 hours or something. Trying to be as efficient as possible in the levels. We'll have to play it a little bit at some point. But for now, we're programming. Trying to figure this out. Let's see here. So if you remember last time, what we were doing was we were adding in a new animation component called Fidget. Because the idea was I wanted to separate out the idle from the little random animation that would occur. So that's what we're adding in. And pretty much all you have to do is just animate it. I think, oh, it's a bit difficult to say because, I would like to have the tail whisk as a, I don't want it to be interruptible, but at the same time, I would like the talking to be, we would be able to do the talking animation. Maybe I could do a combination of the things later. Actually, it would be kind of fun if... it would be kind of fun to be able to animate out separately the lip flaps versus the bobble and the animation so that I could then just overlap them and overlay them. That would require a lot of planning when it comes to animation building, though. And it might make things a little bit rigid, too. Technically, the animations for my character is already a bit rigid, but I'm happy with it. Oh, actually, we're going to have to start drawing pretty soon. Maybe we'll have to start doing that. We can have a drawing session to try and see how you update the avatar. I do actually have a couple arts. I need to send them over. Let's see. Of course, it's dead. Oh, tablet has no power. We'll have to send that over. Anyway, let's focus on the decoding side of things. It's what, 3 o'clock? Yeah, 3 o'clock. Need lots to get done. I have 3 hours for coding before I have to go do stuff. So let's speed it along. So if you remember last time, we ended up setting up we added in to our animator, we add in presets for animations. We set it so that we can then, as we load up our directories here, we can add in our warp presets. So we define our frames. We can then add in our warp presets. And then from there, we can also then set an iterator, or we can set the iterator as in what the frames are going to be like. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, that kind of thing. And then lastly, we also ended up going back and filling in all of the code so that it all should be theoretically working. Now here we can start kind of filling in the sequence builder. As you can see, I already started adding in like the directory of where the things are located. We're calling a sequence the instance of our sequencer. We set the sequencer to be a singleton, well, kind of a singleton. If you call the sequencer instance by name, you will get that instance with the saved data, or memory loaded data, I should say. And then likewise, we can then start doing things like adding the emotes. So what we should probably do here is we should probably start expanding out the sequence builder. Because there's an awful lot of presets, for instance, like the bobbles and such, as well as the length of the delay, how long things are, like with idle and such. Actually, since I added in fidget, let's hurry up and go over here real quick. We have idle. We need to set a new one. We're going to call this fidget. There we go. Now theoretically, this right here is our fidget, which is our tail whisk. Our idle, for all intensive purposes, is going to be a single frame. It's this one right here. So there we go. All right, there we go. There we go. So there's our idle, our intro, our talk, and then our fidget. With these in mind, from here, what we should be able to theoretically do now is when we call these in, it should all work pretty well. Why don't we go ahead and do that real quick? Bang. And what's the error? Alright, what is this error? Let's see here. Cannot unpack uniterable object. Load directories. Okay, so that means there's a directory error. Oh yeah, it's probably because we changed it up a bit. Let's see here. Well, we're adding the emotes. Actually, question. Well, we have our dir path. Alright, there's our dir path. Add emote. What is going on with add? Alright, to the sequencer. Here we go, add emote. We're looking for a dir path. If there's a dir path, we then will load the... Oh, that's the problem there, parameters. Alright, parameters. We're not feeding that in. But this does mean that... Let's see, we did change this around a bit. For instance, for now, this here is animation parameters. All right, then. That's the one thing there. That's now animation parameters. And then another is component. Let's see here, not components. dir path, warp presets. We did not set that. Though technically we don't need to. We will have to at some point. Let's see here. Expected type dick. Da 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 da. Instead got this. Okay. Alright, so that's just the complaint about the... Yeah, that's just a complaint about this here. This should be no longer a dictionary string. This is just going to be a framer, or an iterator. Oh. Oh, got it. Okay then. Iterator. Framer. There we go. Oh, what are you complaining about now? Oh yeah, one more. There you go. Alright. So let's see here, and then sequence it's complaining about. Oh yeah, that's because of the fact that we're using a... this is no longer a... Let's see, this should be a... iterator. There we go. Iterator. And there we go. Oh, nice. Alright. Now the last thing we want here is... Yeah, the typing is always a big pain in the butt. If we want to keep everything... Actually, maybe we should probably look into... I mean, I understand the focus of typing. And I understand the usage of typing. Especially when you're having very complex data structures, but... sometimes you kind of just look at it and go, do I have to really do the typing? I want to be lazy. I want to be lazy and ignore the typing. Alright, well, anyway. Let's not be lazy. Actually, let's also load that up. There we go. Okay then. So anyway. Let's see here. We have our add emote. We should probably put in our parameters for this. Okay, I have actually... Let's actually go ahead and start... Let's fill out the builder real quick. Let's actually fill out the builder real quick. So... Let's see here. Oh... We need the defaults, so let's add this in. Oh, So I have our consts. This is a service. I don't think we have any variables yet. We can still put that down. As for const, we have, I'm going to call this mid bobble. Oh, I should probably call this mid talk bobble. And then we'll have max talk bobble. And this is going to be an ND array. And quite frankly, this is actually going to be... this should be shared because this is not going to change. And if it does change... Actually... yeah, okay. Oh... Think. Yeah, I'm going to set it for constants for now. I'm going to set it to constants now. If we have to, it should be a very quick fix. We're just tossing it into... initial int, but for now we're going to toss it there. But that means we need to go over to the video generator, our old code. What we're now going to look for is Let's see here. We're going to look for the old calculations. Here we go. Oh, that's the to calculate. That's the P1 and P2. All right, so where are we calling this? Here we are. All right, so this was how we were doing our code originally. So we have the dimension, we have the bounce, and then from here, all right, we need to copy this. This is the old way we were calculating the coefficient. I can see that, all right, I can see that I was doing it on the fly, which would probably, it would, for video generation, it's fine, but we're trying to stream, we're trying to make a stream code. So yeah, I don't think we should do that. Oh my, this is a bit heftily complicated, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit heftily complicated. Oh, why is it so complicated? Why did I, All right, well, okay. All right, let's see here. So that's this is our coefficient, finding our coefficients. This really should be moved into a different area. I'm going to go ahead and actually... As I said, I haven't really figured out exactly where I want everything yet. I'm thinking of just keeping it here in the sequence builder. Technically, because these are ND array, we should... I know. What we probably should do is we probably should calculate the transformation for... Well, this is all focused on the image size, though. This is where the problem is. Alright, that's what we'll do. Congratulations, you two have been upgraded to variables. Yeah, you've been upgraded to variables. And you two are going to be that, and we'll set these to none. There we go. Let's go ahead and import in our... There we go. Okay then, so now from here, what we can then do is we will simply calculate them. We can calculate them based off of the size of the images. So what I think I'll do is... Alright, I'm just going to do this. Alright then. Define, add, animation. This will simply be the emote, animation emotion, and dir path, which will happen to be just path, and then let's go ahead and grab all the other stuff that we have that we've put in our sequencer. This one right here. Warp presets and animation parameters as well. There we go. There, and... Oh, come on. There we go, and then we'll add in our iterator from typing, and then last but not least, animation prep. This will be... I marked it down as a tuple. I guess it's fine. All right. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So let's see here. So the idea here is that it's just going to be... Actually, I could probably just say, instead of just add emote, get rid of that. This would just be build animations. Oh, I know. Build default animations. We're going to auto set all of these, actually. I'm just going to... Yeah, at this point in time, we're just going to want to just build this. Let's just get everything into... We can start expanding on it once we get out, or once we get to it. Alright, so there's our DIR path. For our sequencer, let's go ahead and add this into sequencer. So self.sequencer, alright. And then from here we can then proceed to do this. Oh, but we already have the name, so we don't need that. Alright. Now from here we have our DIR path. We should find out what our different emotions are. And then... Actually, I think we only currently have one emotion, don't we, in our code setup. Technically, Voyage, yeah, we just have one. So that should be fine. The main point is... Yeah, the main point is... Going to be... Let's see here. Oh, we're going to be doing a lot of code copying it for this little early bit. So we're going to go ahead and grab those, like so. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. There we go. So technically, we don't need this. Oh, actually, yeah. Army thing. Anyway, let's just get it worked on. Let's just get it worked on. That's what we should do first. So here is our... This is where we are, right here. We're going to do a DIR. And if the frame is a DIR... Go ahead and grab that. Boom. Then we'll go ahead and do this here. There we go. And here we have happy. That's our emotion right there. Technically, instead of if frame is a DIR, it should be if frame.stem. Let's see here. Oh, Alright, alright. So we need to know what the emotes are. We should probably get the string of those so we can just do a comparison. Oh, that's not get animation components. Wait, is that actually part of it? Did I forget to, did I read that it's not named correctly? And yeah, it's not named correctly. Okay, let's see here. Let's rename this. This is get animation emote list. All right. There we go. So now we get our list. There we go. So now we get the emote list. Now what we're interested in is if the stem is in. I should probably put in. There you go, like that. So that way it will only pull out the emotions. Now also make sure we keep everything typed correctly. And then from here, sorting doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. But what does matter is the emote in... This is no longer DIR locations. This is a... This is no DIR locations. This is emote locations. So for the emote lock... There we go, emote lock and emote locations. And what we're going to proceed to do is we will fill in all of the gaps. So from here we will then do self.sequencer dot load sequence load. Yep, here it is, load components directory. And then from here, this will just be emote lock. There we go. And we technically should start filling in our other stuff. So this would be the warp presets. Animation. Ooh, actually, you know what? Thinking about it, since maybe we should set some enums. Since we're already standardizing so many things, maybe I could set it. I can build a set of enums and say if you get the enum passed in, or you pass in an ND array, because in that way we can just simply, because these are presets. We'll stick with. We'll stick with. We'll stick with just doing the ND array for now. Let's not try and add in any more enums, but it does sound like a very nice idea. I do like that idea. Alright, so let's see here. Warp presets. So let's see here. I'll get rid of that for now. So yeah, we need to define the warp presets. So, Oh. Okay. Let's go to the sequencer. If I remember, it was at the bottom. Yeah, here they are. All right. Now let's go ahead and just start fleshing these things out a bit. They're a bit, as I said, they're not very... Yeah, we're going to have to... We'll really have to work on this. Right now we're just trying to put something together. Alright then, so this will be... parameters. Call it seek parameters. This will happen to be a dictionary of animation components, followed by a list of integers. There's our dictionary. See, animation components dot, there you go, idle dot fidget dot, we'll go with talk dot intro. I think that's what we currently have set up for now. All right then. Oh. Okay. First things first, this one. This is our talking animation right here. That's our talking animation. This is our idle animation. or sorry, this is our fidget animation. Then this is going to simply be our idle, which is, I'm going to put down 3 zeros. Actually, I'll put down 4 zeros, or 5 seems to be a magic number. There we go. And then last but not least, the intro. We haven't actually set up the intro, have we? Let's take a peek. That's PyCharm. That's not it either. Yes, we did. All right, we did do intro. We have 4. All right. So, if I recall, it should be 00112233. It's 8 frames long. Yeah, it's 8 frames long, but it's doubled up. So, about 12 FPS. So yeah, this will be 0011 2233. There you go. All right. Nice. Okay. So that's all of those. Now the next things are the warping animations. Now these are pretty easy to do. This is all the sequence for the warping because it's all about the frames. Yeah, that's going to since everything is standardized, it should be pretty easy just to write a basic standard. However, when it isn't standardized, we're going to have to maybe outsource this to like a JSON file. Let's see here. Warp presets. And this will happen to be a dictionary that will contain the animation components. Let's see here, animation components, and then it will contain a... Actually, I have one moment. How did we set it up again? Sequencer, how did we set you up? I forgot since yesterday. So here we get the animation components, and then this is just a simple list. Ah, okay. So we have our animation component, and then we provide in a list of NP or of ND arrays. All right, and that's for the different frames. Yeah, this is going to be the most unoptimal way of doing this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this again. And we'll just change the list. Okay then. There we go. And then, as I mentioned, these are going to be... Alright, so let's get over to our builder. So how are we doing this? So we have these two vectors. We take the defined height, the width, and then the bounce. The bounce is how much I wanted the character to jump up and down. Where did I define bounce? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Where are you? Here we go. So bounce here is none. The default is, for a 3-frame talk animation, is 0, 2, and 4. Okay then. So theoretically then, I was taking the height plus 0 for the first one, and then 2 for the second one, then 4 for the third one. Alright. And this was a 512 by 512 image, if I recall. All right then. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I kind of made this a bit complicated, didn't I? Oh, I see you, bot. Hey, good bot friend. Don't worry about me. I'm just going to ban you. But you are a special bot. Because I'm going to report you too. Let's see here. Bot is a bot. You know what? I should probably create a... That definitely should go into the list. I'm going to probably try and create an auto mod where as soon as it finds these types of posts, it just bans them and reports them immediately. Because this is very annoying. I think they originally I had it set up that it would auto do it, but Twitch recently changed it so that it's going to be AI driven. I don't know why they chose to do that. I don't think that's a very wise move. I really don't. Everything's being AI. Yes, soon using the loo, using the bathroom is going to be AI driven. Would you like seat to lift? Can I just please touch it? No, do not mess with the AI. Please, would you like seat to lift? No, you don't want seat to lift. Okay. Oh, anyway. Let's focus on this. Let's see here. Where did I start building these things? Down here in Maine. So, alright, build idle animation. That's where let's go to build idle animation. There's the delay. Ooh. Oh, perfect. Okay then, so I had 165 frames being the delay for the idle animation. That's good to know. That's good to know. That's good to know. What I'm looking for is, this is the structure right here. As I said, JSON file. That's what I might have to end up doing. Image size right here. So animation framer. So I saved it in animation framer, huh? Oh, how much of it this was in the old framer code? Oh, yeah, that's in a... I didn't copy that over. I don't have that. But we were going and getting a standard. All right, so that's... Okay. So, if that's the case... All right, so if that's the case, then... Back to, I think, Builder. Yeah, so here's our coefficients. There's our calculations. Okay. Yeah, I need the... Okay, I do need... One moment. I do need this. Where are you, code? Where are you? Where be you be? Where be you be yabby? Here it is. Okay. Right here. Alright, I'm copying this. This is the bounce. This is our bounce. Alright then. So this is how we were doing the calculations. Yeah, okay then. Oh boy. This is where the biggest problem comes in. Trying to figure out exactly how you want things to get done. Because I have a million ideas of how to do it. And I have a million different ways of implementing ways to do this. But I can't ever really think of the optimal way. I guess maybe figuring out the optimal way is through just experience. Because one way to do this would be that, given you can see here that it all involves image sizes. For instance, I need to know the size of the image, and I need to know the layout, which means To me, theoretically, that would mean that I should put this in with the framer, because in framer, we have all of the animation components. For instance, I think it's even defined up here in our parameters. Yeah, right here, even in our parameters, image size. So I have them right here. So you would think then I should put the warp calculations here. I actually ended up just... You do technically have the warp. For instance, here you can see where you need to take an ND array and then we can transform it. Actually, that might be a good way to think about it. This right here is to build the ND arrays. So technically, this doesn't have to be a part of Framer. This is just to build our transformation matrix. So if that's the case, then we probably would just be able to set some standards. I'm going to be a bit lazy. Again, right now we're just trying to set something up. We can make it look prettier and, you know, more throughput once we get something established. So let's go with image size. Image size, this is going to be a tuple. And if I recall, we originally adjusted Framer to account for our extra large images. See, it should be, yeah, here it is right here. We currently changed the defaults. We'll go ahead and just put that here, like so. So that's our image size, which means, oh, and I think another thing we need to do is make sure that, let's see here, image size, it's width and then height. All right. So wherever we see width, it's going to be changed. All right, so wherever we see width, it's going to be changed. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, F6. Cannot do refactoring of selected element. Well, why? Oh, okay, poo on you. Alright. Wherever we see width, it's going to be the first element. Like so. There we go. And then next one is height. So for the height, it's just going to be 1. Now the def height, which is the defined height, is actually the height in which we were going to do the modification, but we were including a bounce. So let's go back to the generator and find out where we were defining def height. Def height is 1/4 of the original height. Oh yeah, that was because I wanted to only modify, I only wanted to make the topmost area of the image bounce. Because if we ended up having the entire, the entire image does bounce, but I wanted the stretching to start from about 1/4 and then go up. If I had done the stretching from the very bottom, then it would make the character, he would look very noodly. Okay then, so because of that, we'll do... Alright, what we'll do is we will do that, divide by 4. Because again, I just want to have, right now I'm just trying to, there we go. Oh yeah, the height needs to, we missed that pin. There we go. All right, perfect. Okay. The last thing is bounce. So bounce happens to be how many little pixels, how much of a deviation is going on here. So if I recall, let's see here. We're currently just trying to see here. So there's one frame in idle. So there we go. There are 8 frames here, but technically we're not doing any modifications of fidget. Or maybe we could. A moment. All right, because I'm just watching. I'm just watching the tail wiggle, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking. All right, we'll set it to none for now. Okay, so there are 3 here, and this is where we were. This is where the bounce comes in. Because if you remember, this was 2 and then 4. And then last but not least, the intro, which happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 8. So we'll do the same thing. Actually, one more. Let's see here. 3, 6, 9, there's 12. All right. We'll set this to 12. Oh, I heard that. Where did that come from? Oh my. Okay, what is this? Alright. Okay. Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing. Alright, so these are technically the bounces that we're adjusting. This is fine coefficients. Fine coefficients is right here. So we'll set this to, there we go, fine coefficients. Oh, death height. Oop, I forgot that there's a death height I missed. All right then. So yeah, all that's left is to deal with bounce. Since these are nuns, we don't really need to worry about them. It's mainly these ones. Now, part of me wants to... Let's see here. Yeah, we have to put in A and B. That is, yeah, that's a bit matrix calculations. Always fun, always fun. But, oh, it's right here. We don't know where it is. It's right here. Actually, why is it not... Actually, is it not proper? Oh, yeah, okay, it was not proper, or, wait a minute. This should be the right spot. This should be the right layer. So in other words, this should be down 1, like so. Oh, I get it. Coefficients is off. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. right. Oh, we're not. Yeah, since we're getting into the later stages here, when it comes to this, is the more complicated parts. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Let's see here. So, actually, let's see here. Animation components, get component, we just type in a value. This is get animation components, which would be the list of T. So this is how to get the different components. We have something similar for animation, the animate emotions, don't we? No, we don't actually. All right. Because I want to return this here. So get emote. Because the idea here is that we're looking through the animation name. Let's see here, emote name, right here. Oh, that's... I just noticed that we're missing. Good thing I checked. That would have been a problem. Making sure that it's legible. Let's see here, and then this happens to be... Let's see here. We call this animation, but that's not actually what it is. This happens to be the... Let's see here. Where are you? Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm making sure everything makes sense. Yeah, interferable, then animation. So for animation in CLS, return this. This is class. And then from here we have animation. Yeah, so for emote, yeah, so for in other words here, this should just be emote. For emote in CLS, if emote name is the equal to the value, then we output it. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect, making sense. So now what we can do is get emote here. in our builder. So instead of just, let's see here. So instead of just getting the, oh yeah, these are the animation components though. So that has actually nothing to do with the emotes. What we want is the parameter. Alright, well at least we've fixed some bugs. Alright, let's see here. Fidgets. Alright, why are you complaining? Oh yeah, it's the it's because right now it's a list is integers. So we're going to be changing that up. These are the bounces. Oh, what's the best way to set this up? Okay, I think one of the first things is that this code right here, the PA, this code all here, so this needs to be part of the utility. I'm going to call this I'm going to call this define bounce. And then this will be the bounce, which will be an integer. And that this will output, what this will return will be our coefficients. So yeah, this will be our ND array. Put the bounce here, there we go. In fact, we can easily just simply run this here. This entire thing, boom. That's what we're going to return. Okay. Image size, which happens to be a tuple with 2 integers in it. Bounce is no longer going to have is not going to be a list, an iterator. So we're just going to call it as it is, bounce. There we go. And then with this here, this is no longer needed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this abomination. Oh yeah, we're going to create this abomination right here. Two, 4. There. Okay. Congratulations. We've made ourselves we've made ourselves an abomination of code. Now parameters happens to be, let's see here. Our animation parameters just happens to be the default seek parameters. So we'll just simply type in self dot, yeah, seek parameters. There we go. And this is looking for a animation components and with a tuple. Oh yeah, that's, we'll be changing that. Yeah, because right now we just have it set to be a this is technically not a tuple anymore. It's an int. There we go. And I think it's, instead of an iterator, it's actually a list. There we go. Okay. So what do we have here? We have ourselves the For our builder, we have ourselves, we're going to load it up, our samples. We're going to add in our emotes. So these are our emote locations. We defined our warps presets. So yeah, we have our warp presets. We have our animation presets. We have our emote locations, which we're going to load all of them in. And then we define a bunch of stuff. So with this all in mind, let's go ahead and run this. Let's see here. We'll call this sequence builder. And we'll call this panda self dot. And I think, yeah, just with its current structure, we just need to call it. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's reset this and run it. And all right, where's our first error? Here. Cannot unpack iterator. Warp pre. Oh, why are you complaining about warp pre? What's wrong? What's wrong with warp pre? Yeah, what's wrong with warp pre? I think self should be, yeah, self has already been defined. Let's go over here. Dot, 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 dot. There. So if we go to warp presets, we should have, yeah, a bunch of nuns, and then there it is. The there's our there it is. Nice, nice. You can see our ND arrays that we need for doing our stuff. Okay, perfect. Nice. So that's working. Our emotes is working. So yeah, it really is all down to this one. Wait a minute, that worked. Wait a minute, oh, I get it. It was the last thing because so that means there's a bug when it comes to warp presets. Let's see here. What's the so yeah, this is a bug. When we call this without the warp pre. So let's go over here and look. So for in DIR, and what we're doing is we're zipping. Are we zipping? No, we're not. Where's warp pre coming from? Where's warp pre being used? Okay, it's being used nowhere. All right, we're getting rid of that. All right. All right, all right. Now let's see here. What was the other big complaint? Warp pre. Actually, how is it loading without that with that error? Hmm. I do not know. I do not know. Let's go ahead and just rerun it. All right, sequence builder. Do your works. And there we go. Okay. Now let's head on over to Animator. Here we are. I think well, we've been trying. Okay, so one of the things we were doing is we were trying to set up to just start cycling in. So if we remember how the animator works, we are currently going in and we're running a function called getFrame. So yeah, here it is, getFrame. So every time we do this, we go in, getFrame, and then I currently have it set to talk. Why don't we do the test just to see if we're doing the bouncing correctly, and then if that's the case, then that should be done, and we can start. We should move over and start working on the other stuff, but which would be the toggling the different cues. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll set self to animator now. There we go. There we go. Let's see here. Self dot get sequencer. And if I remember, we called it panda. Self dot generate animation. And it crashed. Okay, well, okay, why did you crash? Why you crash you? Okay then. Alright, we need to... Okay, we're going to have to destroy that for a video. Yeah, here it is. Okay then. So why did you crash? What caused you to crash? Let's see here. Get frame, animation. Get animation reset loop. Get frame. It failed to return. Oh, don't tell me. Did I spell it wrong? Let's go to sequencer. Let's see here. I don't want to get an instance. I want to see the list of instances. So... Alright, I think I'll just go directly to the instance. Oh. Registry. Alright. There it is, registry. Alright then, so yeah, it's lowercase panda. So that should have been more, that should be correct. So in other words, if I go to self, animations, not add default animations, no. And come on, animator. Let's go to the sequencer actually. Self dot sequencer. Oh. Animator object has no sequence. Boy, I got the sequencer. That was the whole point of running it. See, I even got the instance. Self dot get sequencer panda. Now when I do self sequencer, it should have it. It's not getting it. Why are you not getting it? Did you mean... But I'm doing sequence... Wait. Is there a typo somewhere? Am I typoing it? I am. Okay, whoops. There we go, okay. Okay then, so now here we want to look at... I think it should be... Where am I hiding all of these things? Animation. I knew it was animations. Why did I... There it is, animations. There we go. And it is empty. Why is it empty? I thought I built it here using these... Yeah, I thought I built it here. We're using a sequencer right here. That is very strange. Let's see here. SRC, animation sequencer. Our animator is SRC, animation sequencer. Those are correct, which means when I call sequencer right here, the code, when I call this sequencer, it's get instance name. I should be able to get yeah, there it is. We'll call this A. Okay, maybe let's... Alright, I'm going to reload that. Okay then. So now we're here. Registry, we have Panda in there. Okay. It's empty, but why? I'm calling add default animations. And from running default animations, we should be loading everything up into Sequencer, which would be the instance that we're calling. In fact, I bet if I go to self.sequencer.animations, oh, it's empty too. Okay, why is that empty? Okay, why are you empty? All right, let's load this up real quick. All right, emote list should have... Okay, it is empty. That might be the problem. Emotes dot name. Let's see here. So emotes should have... Oh, yeah, this is... that might be the problem. All right. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, I found the problem. All right, yeah, that's not a string. This is a list of the actual animation emotes. Okay, then. So it's not a problem on the code side of things. It's a problem on... Okay, so it should be name, or we'll call it emotes. And emotes. And this will be emote dot... Emote name. There we go. All right, perfect. Okay. Boom, boom. There. This should fix the problem now. In fact, let's go ahead and do that, and then check here. Yeah, that's working correctly. All right, good. Perfect. All right, perfect. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and rerun this. And there we go. There's an error. Okay, why is there an error? Why are you erroring? What's your error? Why you error? To load images to sequence. And unable to impact non-tuple image object. Okay then. Zip enumerate longest. It's because we're probably using... Yeah, it's right here. All right. So we're currently enumerating through... Let's see here. Yeah, we're currently enumerating through here. Oh, I get it. Oh, I see it. Okay, yep. All right. Yeah, I see it. 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 I put the enumerate in the longest zip, so technically it's all wrong. Let's just do a quick let's see here. So warp pre is going to equal, there you go, warp presets IDX. There we go. This horribly broken. I'm going to put that down. This is hacky fix ASAP. There we go. Okay. Okay. And run. There we go. Okay, loaded. All right, perfect. Now let's go over to Animator. We'll go ahead and load that up. There we go. Animator. We'll go ahead and get the sequence. I believe that we call this panda. And this will be generate animation, and it crashed. Okay. All right, now why? Now the question is why did it crash this time? Okay, so why did you crash this time? That's the question of the ages. Why did you crash? Failed to return. Oh, we saw the loading. Yeah, we saw the loading here. We were able to get all of our frames. But did it actually? Let's see here. Sequencer animations. It is still empty. Why? That's still empty. Alright, then so it's our builder which is causing trouble. But we're loading components, which... Let's see here. Oh, load component. Oh, I think I might see the problem. Yeah, actually, I think I do see the problem. I think that's a major problem. Ooh, yeah, that's a major problem. Yeah, that's a major problem. No wonder why we're having trouble. This is going to output a component. So this is going to output a file. And we're not actually attaching it to any emotes. So let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see, so how were we doing it originally? Let's see here. When we were running sequencer, all right, animator, you're next. So right up here, no, all right. Oh wait, we didn't... Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay then. I should probably... Okay, I see what the problem is. So the first things first is that once we run this sequencer, what actually is happening is we're outputting a list of frames. So this is our cycle right here. And with that in mind, what we need to do then is we need to input that into our animation file. So if you remember here with sequencer, we actually have that up here already. It should be here. Oh, animations right here. Animation emotes, and then our iterator with the different components. So let's see, we're not actually inputting that in, are we? Once we... Yeah, here we go. Add emotes. The emote parameter... Yeah, there it is. Okay, then. So we technically actually want to do this one here first. So, builder. Add emote. That's our location. We should probably put in our actual emotion. Let's see, we need to then define a list of what those are. Which means that we should probably... Okay. Alright. Right. Let's see here. So we have our iterator, dir. We'll then pull out all of our files. So this will be the directories. So this will be our dir locations. Then from here... Oh, what's the best way to do this? Oh. Let me think. Let me look at this and contemplate. Alright, so technically we have that. And if we simply grab the stem of this... it would be that. And I bet if I... animation, emotion... oh. Motion dot get emote. Toss that in. There we go. Alright then, I think that's exactly how we're going to do this. I think that's exactly how we're going to do this. So we'll simply grab this. We'll pass in the emote location, but we'll also pass in the stem. Like so. Warp presets, and I don't think I actually updated... I don't think I updated add emote yet, have I? No, I haven't. I just have dir path and parameters. So we actually added warp presets here, so we should add that in as well. There we go. I should probably move this there. Okay then, and then last but not least, we want to then now pass in our warp presets here. There we go, which will then add the load. There we go. Okay, there we go. So now we have that. Now that we call the builder, okay, if we call the builder, it throws an error. Okay, why you throw error? Why you throw error, you? Oh yeah, we have to reload. Let's reload. There we go, and there we go. All right, unexpected argument, animation parameters. All right, so why is there an unexpected argument? Oh, I get it. I get it. I get ye. It's because add emote doesn't have that, does it? It has the sequence. Or, let's see here. It has just parameters. All right, we're gonna... let's see here. We're going to do this. There we go. All right, there. There we go. All right, I think that should fix that problem. So add me received an unexpected argument called animation parameters. So yeah, I think that should be it. Okay, let's try and rerun this. There we go. I did not see... oh, we want to... oopsie. We want to run this one. There we go. All right. There we go. That looks like it worked. Let's go grab our sequence real quick. And there it is. All right. Under the happy emote too. Nice. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go to self, animator, self, get sequencer. We're going to go with that. Self dot Generate animation, and it crashed. Okay, why you crash you? Oh, why you crash you? What now? Image object is not callable. At least it's in a completely different location. Yeah, at least it's in a completely different location. So we are progressing slowly along. This is now involving purely kit frame. Alright then, so this is this right here. So if I call... Oh, could it be involving the warp? Warp preset? That would be a very interesting question. Let's see here. Composite, refresh, copy. Let's see here. Image, object is not callable. Image, object is not callable. It's this error right here, which is in the first show. So... Oh, why is this one the first one that's throwing an error? Alright, let's go up to composite and see why is it throwing an error. Compile, composites. Oh my, wait. That should be compile, right? Or is that composite? No, that we actually threw in compile. Oh wait, that's composite. Shouldn't that be compile? Yeah, composite run. Okay, composite runs compile. Okay then. So in this case, we have a refresh boolean, which we're setting the false. If it's refresh, or yeah, so that's just return composite. Let's see here. Type error. It's a type error. Image object is not callable. It feels like there's an error somewhere else. Here. In line 84. All right. Ah, warping. So yeah, because we're trying to warp the entire image. Except we're theoretically not warping the image because we're not actually putting the defaults there. So what is going on here? Because technically we're supposed to be... Let's see here, where are we? This is the layers. So we're throwing an error here in the layer. But our transformation is supposed to happen afterwards in the show. Let's see here. All right, let's go check it out. Let's see here. Let's go to the sequencer. Or we're just going to go in here and grab the happy emotion. Oh, sequencer is not scriptable. Okay. Oh yeah. There we go. Okay. And animator does not have an option. It so too has it. It so too has it. It is right. Oh. Okay, why did it come? Sequencer is not subscriptable, but it is. Sequencer should be. All right then. There we go. Okay, come on. Oh yeah, this should be emote. This should be emotions. Okay then, there. And then we need to go to the talking animation. There we go. And that's it. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab the first frame. Alright then. We'll call this B. Alright, B. So we have B, which should be the frame. Yes, B. Dot. And this then should have a thing called component. This should have layers. Okay, then let's go. Let's see here. This should have components. Okay, then. There we go. Everything looks normal. We have warp, warp should all be none. Yeah, none, none. Oh wait, here. That's an image path. No. So no to colorize, no to image path. Warping is none. Yeah, they're all none. Yeah, literally, they're all none. So there should be. So let's see here. Image is not callable, so B. So I wonder why it's not calling. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's a framer. It's a framer, so it claims it doesn't like when we do that. Alright, let's see here. So we're going to simply compile our image. Let's see here. Composite refresh.copy. Composite refresh if it's I'm trying to figure out where the problem is. Because composite is technically just a property. Yeah, it's just a property of framer, so that should not cause a problem. Or, I mean, it should theoretically not cause a problem. Show, which is also part of framer, all this does is its outputs, it'll do this. It will copy composite. Yeah, you see here, it'll copy composite, and then it will proceed to warp it. Okay, let's try this. B.compile. B.show. Nope, still throwing the error. And it's claiming that it's self.composite, so self.composites. Animator does not have an object called composites. Wait a minute, but... Oh yeah, because it's not self, it's B. B.composite. Okay then. Alright, I found the error. What's the problem though? Let's get up here to composite. If refresh or underscore composite. Oh, wait, I think I know what the problem is. Okay, maybe I don't know what the problem is. Okay. Okay, maybe I don't know what the problem is. Where's compile? Compile is right here. It says that it's not iterable, but yeah, image is not callable. So, but composites should be, well, we know what the problem is. All right. That's a bit interesting. Let's try something here. I'm going to get rid of show. Image object is not callable. I'm going to set this to true. Image object is not callable. B is framer though. Let's see here. There we go. That, but it literally outputs the pill image. But that's because the composite should be a pill image. Wait a minute. Is this a typing error? Why do I have a feeling if I change that's okay. Why? Oh, alright. Now I'm very curious. Let's try something. I'm going to get rid of the type. Well, I think this just might be a typing error because of the fact that you can't, this image can't, you can't call an image. So therefore, since this is property is defined as an image, because that's what's outputting, it's going to throw an error. Oh, that'd be so annoying if that is the exact problem. It does mean that I can't really call refresh here. It kind of defeats the purpose of this entire bit of code then. Where is compile used? It is right here when we do show. The whole idea of composite was to store an image in memory. That's what the idea of it was. It was to make it easier for... make it easier. So if I can't just call it like so, alright, that means we'll just have to, if we want to refresh, we'll just have to call compile every single time. Until I mess with that, all we'll have to do is this. Alright then. Self get sequencer self dot generate animation, and now it's complaining about copy. Oh, okay. Alright, I don't know why it's complaining. It was working perfectly fine earlier. Yeah, I don't know why it's messing up though, because earlier it didn't have any trouble at all. In fact, I remember the code was working perfectly fine until I don't know when. Maybe it was just an error waiting to happen. Either way, we cannot do copy. Ah, here we go. None types cannot be copied. Okay, then. I cannot. Alright, but... Oh yeah, because we need to run... Ah, yeah. Oh, okay. That's because we haven't ran compile yet. There we go. Okay. Okay, I can feel it. I can feel it in my toes. This should work. Oh. This should work. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Ah, it's working. Nice. Okay then. All right, he's not bouncing, mind you. He's not doing his little bounce, but he is talking again. We are having him mouth off. That is good. Okay then. So that is good to know. Okay, so we are getting him to mouth off again, which is nice. As I mentioned, he's not bouncing, which is kind of what we've been trying to get him to do. So the main thing to check then is to look at the presets. So let's go to our sequencer, animations, this one right here. Let's see here, we'll go to next. There we go. Oh, whoops. All right, we'll go. Let's make this that C dot presets. We're now looking for the warp presets. All right, come on, Framer. You do have it. There it is. It's underscored. Okay. You do have a preset. Oh, you do have a preset. Yeah, right here. Preset. Okay, then, so there is a preset. Is it in the animator, maybe? Our preset is 0. Get frame. So get frame here. We then, our warp preset, yeah, we define it when we do show. And then, all right, let's hop back over to show real quick. Our warp presets. Here it is, warp data. So if we have warp data, we will proceed to warp the output image. We will use the ND array. We'll run warp. And then when we run warp, we will return the transformed image, which will then be output image. And then from output image, we will then format it. And then, so theoretically, it should be working. Yeah, theoretically, this should be working. I wonder why it's not warp. All right, let's grab a frame. Technically, we have a frame right here. It's C. Show. All right, we'll have to do the double show. There we go. Now then, let's do a let's go with warp presets. We'll go with 0. Actually, we should probably make it outlandish. Rather than trying to keep things as simple as possible. Because the whole warping is supposed to be very subtle. What we probably should do is make it as wild as possible. The main thing here is the bounce. This should be theoretically the bouncing for the talking. So I'm going to change this to 20 and 40. Actually, that might be the case because if you remember, it's supposed to be 512 by 512. So 2 pixel jump or a 4 pixel jump on a 512 would actually be quite a lot. But for the picture here, given that it's almost triple the size, this might actually be very negligible. So yeah, that might actually be, it might actually be working. It's just that the changes that we're expecting are so tiny that we can't visualize it. So yeah, let's go with the outlandish. Let's go with the outlandish first. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this just down here. Just so that I don't have to keep typing it in. There we go. Okay. And nope, he's not bouncing. Wait. Is he bouncing? I don't think he's bouncing. Yeah, I don't think he's bouncing. Okay. All right. I'm changing this to even more outlandish. There we go. This has to be very visible. We are moving 2/3 of the frame. So this has to be very obvious. All right. Yeah, he's not moving. He's not bouncing. Okay, why are you not bouncing? Why are you not bouncing? Okay, why you not bounce? Why you not bounce you? What is... Okay then, why is it not bouncing? It should all be involved with Framer. So this is all a Framer issue now. So warp, we'll do an image transformation, we'll warp, we'll do perspective, and then we'll use the ND array data. Then from here, this should return, we're returning an image. And then from here, this is right here. And then this will then do a conversion. So first things first, we copy our composite. There we go. We then will modify any of the coloring if we have to. All right, then what we do is we warp the data. That's what we're trying to do, warp the data. Or we're going to use a warp preset. What does our warp preset... Actually, what does our... Actually, Framer, where are you? Yeah, we're selecting warp preset 0. So it should be the first one. We have talk animation with 3. Okay then. Let's take a quick peek at talking animation. There we go, there's C. Idle. Oh, okay. Whoops. Wait. Let's see here. There we go. Peak. All right. Here we go. This is what we want. This one. All right then. So warp presets. So this should be our theoretical warp preset right here. Okay, let's go to the coefficients. Let's just see what the calculations look like. Here it is, our builder. So what happens if we define our bounce? Okay, let's... Oh yeah, we won't have to... Okay, then let's see here. Let's go ahead and run sequence builder again. There. Self dot bounce. Let's see here. Define bounce. Here's our image size. Now then, if I set this to 20, how does it look? It changed. Let's set this to 200. It changed again. Let's set this to 400. It is completely different from... Yeah, it is completely different from what's the... Yeah, so peak is supposed to be... Wait a minute. What are my... Okay, what am I... One moment. Where are you? One moment. What is this? talk animation, peak, mid, idle. I think I might know what part of the problem is. Okay then. This should be the other way around. This should be 400, this should be 200, and this should be 0. It still means that the normal animation should be warped. That's the first thing. But that means that if I set this to 0, this should be what we were expecting. It is. Okay then. So yeah. So we are defining our calculations. Now the warping. Let's see here. So yeah, so we've corrected that. We do know that the coefficient calculations, that is working. So now it all stems from here. So let's go ahead and define a 400 right here. We'll call this warp A. There we go. So now what I want to do is let's go to, this should be C, correct? Yeah, C dot warp, or I should probably put show. And then we'll put in warp data, warp A dot show, and it complained. Okay, the truth value of an array element is ambiguous. Oh, all right. It did not like that. Okay. Okay, I think we should probably change this to is none. Or I should say is not. Is not none. Likewise, is not none. So now with the warp data, if we call warp, it should, if we call warp, and then, because if you look, warp is all about just transforming the image. It's a perspective transformation. We're using the image size, we're using our image size as a constraint. We're doing transform based on perspective, and then we're using data. If you go back to our old code, which happens to be our builder or our video generator, you can see here when I was generating the bounces, I was doing the exact same thing. I was transforming our image with perspective based off the coefficients. So I know this code works because I've been using it. So for this case, when we call warp, it should output the image and we should be golden. All right, I'm gonna try again. There you go. Perfect. Aha. Check out the abomination. It is working fantastically. Aha, look at that. That is some massive warpage going on. Ooh. But that's exactly what we want to see. Okay then, let's make it not so grotesque. Let's get back over here. Okay, we'll just set this to basically, as I mentioned, it's 3 times higher, so we'll just make these 3 times larger. Okay. Alright then, there we go. Now let's go ahead and get the animator running. There we go. Oh, that is nice. Perfect. Check it out. Oh yeah, nice, nice. Now he is chatting. Look at that. Oh. Perfect. And you can see that the perspective warping is kept up at the top. I bet if I changed it to 8 or something, it would be a little bit better, but I think I'm happy with this. But all right then, so now we have this. Okay then, all right, perfect. All right, so now I have this. What we need to do is start updating our animator. So if you remember here, I set to 1. So originally, the whole point of our framer is to grab the what is currently set. So here's the active counter. Here's the active sequence. And here you can see we set this to 0 initially, and then we set this to idle. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is now going to be active sequence. So let's see here. So while true, we're just going to keep grabbing frame. That's the whole idea. We're going to grab all the frames. Now, if we are here, and then we're going to show them. Actually thinking about it, maybe... Yeah, maybe these should be before our while loop. Yeah. Like that. I think that will be good. But now we are starting. We currently have our active sequence. If I push 1, we are going to change our active sequence. We are going to change the active sequence. Oh, let's see here. I currently... Yeah, here's the default sequence. Here's the active sequence. I am going to make my life easier. There we go. The active sequence is set to the default sequence. Now then, this will now be set to... Let's see here. Animation component dot talk. There we go. Self dot active counter will be set to the length of this. Oh. I believe this should have... Let's see here. If I remember... Our animation... Oh, see. Our animation component should have the duration. So this should be the default... Yeah, there it is. Default length. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to simply get the frame from the active sequence. We're going to show said frame, and then afterwards, if, let's see here, if self.activeCounter is equal to, or I should say not equal to, 0, then we're going to simply subtract the counter by 1. Oh. We're going to subtract the counter by 1. There we go. It doesn't have... All right. There we go. We're going to subtract the counter by 1. Otherwise... Actually, elif self dot active counter equals... Oh man, this is going to run it. This is going to run every single time, isn't it? Oh yeah, this is going to run every single time. Oh, that's going to be such a resource hog. Oh yeah, that's going to be such a resource hog, isn't it? Let's see here. Yeah, because if the idea is that this, then we'll simply self dot... Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. Animation active sequence, we then set to default sequence, like that. Okay, let's think real quick. Okay, let's think real quick. Let's think. So, here we are. All right, yeah, so here we are. So the main thing we have to focus on happens to be I'm trying to cut down on the amount of resources being used. So I like calls to happen only when they actively need to happen. And if I have this set to 0, then it will pretty much, set the defaults. So it'll constantly be setting active sequence to 0, and I don't really want that to happen. And this is also not accounting for the fact that certain of these components are interruptible. I think that might be just one of those things that we... All right, I'm going to go ahead and run it. Oh, missing method data. Okay, why are you missing? What is missing? It says... Okay, what is missing? I'm going to restart this. Sequence builder, go ahead and run. Animator, go ahead and run. And we're missing it. Okay. Missing method data, value error. It claims the presets. Oh, wait. I'm sure that's because of the fact that the idles are none. I set the defaults to none. I bet that is the case. Yeah, I bet that's the case. It's because these are all none. But if a none is put in... The idea, though, is that if none is passed in, then it should not have any problem. Literally. Though, that being said, also, the idle animation is actually currently 1 frame long. Maybe we should set it to fidget. Let's set the idle to fidget for now. Just so that it is more than 1 frame. Nope. All right, yeah, so there is indeed an error. An error. It has to do with the nuns. I was kind of hoping it didn't have to do with the nuns, but it has to do... It has to deal with the nuns. Which is very annoying. Very, very annoying. Let's see here. Transformation size, perspective, data. The data happens to be missing data, so it's because it is a none. Wait a minute. Framer. The warp preset is... If the warp preset is not none, but warp preset should be none. Okay, let's grab the idle frame. There we go. C. Warp. All right, then. Let's see here. Warp. Presets are none. Yeah, there's a none. So if we do 0, there should be none. Let's see here. So theoretically, warp should not be being run. It should not. Let's see here. It's because I set preset to 0, but again, preset is set to 0, which means if... Oh, I get it. 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 Alright, we're going to set a... Yeah, I get it. Because this is a 0, it's always going to be that. So... That means... I'm going to redo this here. If data is none, then return image. Otherwise, there we go. Okay. There we go. That means if warp, if you don't present any data to warp, then it's just not going to output data. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's as simple as that. If you don't put in data, we're just going to get an image. You're just going to get the image back. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Let's run you. There we go. Now, if I push 1, I get an error. All right. Okay, I get an error. Why did I get an error? It was apparently the error was so strong it knocked out the animator. Okay. It knocked us out of the animations. Okay, let's close the window. Local variable. Animation components referenced before assignment. Ah. Oh, that's wrong. Why is that there? Okay. Yeah, that's wrong. Let's run this again. There we go. Now let's type in a 1. 1, 1. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Let's see here. Now will it stop? Will it stop? I don't think it's going to stop. Oh my, I know I held 1 down for a while. Is it going to continue going? He's forever talking. He won't shut up. Okay, yeah, apparently the counter's not working. We should probably... Let's quit. Alright, we should probably just toss the log of the cow. We should toss the log out. So let's see here. Logger.debug. And I'm just going to... I just want to log the active counter. There we go. And we should probably bring in Loggeroo. And theoretically, actually, I don't need it to be there. I want it to be here. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and run this. So there we go. It's all set to 0. 1. 1. Why did it set to -1? Oh, why did it set to -1? That is, okay, so we found, all right. Why are you -1? Okay, then. Oop. The default length for this should be 5. Yeah, the default length should be 5. And the active counter is if it is not 0, as in we set the active counter to 5, and then All right, I'm going to set this to be less than 0. Okay. It's set to -1, but why is it? What? Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Okay, quit. Is never going to the other location. Okay then. All right. It somehow, for some reason, it always goes to -1. I notice though, if you look here, if I hold 1 down, you can see I can get him to talk. Apparently, it's working. We can get it to work, and when I stop holding it, he stops talking. So it's working. But one of the main problems is that it keeps going to -1. Now the question is why? And I'm a bit surprised with how... I'm guessing that the enemy, because of how fast things are, we're not seeing the countdown of these numbers here. All right, let's quit. All right. So yeah, okay. I due to the speed, I don't think I have to worry too much about that. I don't know why that's not working, or we're not seeing anything past -1. I guess maybe it'd be fine though. Oh, I see. I bet if I do that, it will fix the problem. If I do that, it will fix the problem. All right then. Okay, let's add some more stuff in here. I'm going to add in another piece right here. I'm going to call it fidget. Actually, you know what? Again, I'm trying to be a bit lazy. Boom. There we go. Okay. There we go. We don't even need the word talk here anymore, because... There we go. Okay. So now we added in fidgets. Let's change this to 2. I'm busy just thinking. Let's run this again. All right, 2. Wait a minute. Is it? I think... Oh, wait, don't you see that? I think there's a problem with my... I think the frames are... I think there might be too many frames being written. Because I push 2, and I can get him to... Yeah. If I hold 2 down, I get this. But I should be able to just push 2 and get him to flick the tail, but... It's not really working. I think... Okay, I think we're going to have to add in a bit of time. All right. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Whoops. All right, so let's see here. I figured just running I am show would be plenty, but I thought that would be enough. But apparently, it's a bit too fast. We need to actually slow it down a bit. Let's see here. Here it is. I am show. I am show. We're then showing our frame. And then I think what I'm going to do is let's... I don't want it to do sleep for like 1 second. That would be horrible. Let's go ahead and do that for now though. Just so we can get things to work. Alright, holding 2. Alright, holding 2. Why does it look like it's dropping frames? Alright, let's quit. Apparently, no, we need to... Yeah, definitely don't do a sleep. Oh. Definitely don't do sleep. But yeah, apparently something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. Let's see here. Tail up, then it gets prepared, then it goes extends, then it extends more, then it flips down, it goes back up, and then it continues rising. All right. So that is the 8 frames. So how does our idle, when we build our sequence, when we do our fidgets, let's see here, where's our, here it is, fidget. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, and then we go back to the default. Which is, actually that's very accurate. That's actually the correct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 frames. Alright, and what is our default length for fidgets? 12, yeah. So it should all be accurate. It really should all be accurate. I noticed that, as I mentioned, the with the way that it works, the amount of frames that are going in are quite yeah, it's very fast. Makes me think that maybe I don't think we need a video buffer. Because again, the idea is we're not buffering anything. This is being generated on the fly. How much do you bet the reason why it's messing up is because I need to... Alright, yeah, that's what we need to do. Alright then, so let's see here. If I recall, if I recall, we have set our components to be interruptible. Yeah, you can see right here. Interferable. We call it interferable. Alright, so interferable. And fidget is not interferable. Idle is. Same with talk and peak. Intro is not, and outro is not. So fidget is false. So with that in mind, what we should do is here, if So yeah, we now know our components. So let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, every time we push 2, it's going to. I see. Okay then. So here we go. And self-active sequence dot interferable. There we go, interferable. And it's the opposite of this. Let's go ahead and copy these in. We can get our interferable code in. We should be able to quit anytime we want. Yeah, we should be able to just hit the Q button and instantly drop out. So we don't need to have that there, but everything else there. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm pushing 1 and 2. Apparently. Oh, yeah, apparently that's not working. Active sequence should be default idle. Yeah, idle. Idle should be interferable. Oh, that should not be a not. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Come on, work. Okay, come on. I push 2. Push 2. Yeah, it is dropping frames. Oh, that is a major problem. I have a feeling that because it's... Yeah, it is literally dropping frames. We need to... Yeah, that is not... That's not what we want. Oh, that is definitely not what we want. Oh, boy. Actually, what we also... We should probably do some logging, too. So let's... I'm going to go ahead and log the... Okay, let's quit. Yeah, this... Our little mini box is having a bit of difficulty with running stuff. But okay then. So yeah, the problem is that it's literally dropping frames because by the time we get to the point for rendering, it has already rendered a new image on top of that. And thus this is why we're getting the weirdness. I did not actually expect it to be that, cause that kind of problem. Maybe it might be because of the fact that this is a yeah, maybe it might be because of the fact that the code is on a computer that doesn't have very good processor. I bet it might work fine on somewhere else. But we can set it to not interfere. At least we're trying to. Man, that's what I would like to do now is log. So what I'm going to do is logger.debug.frame. There we go. Oh my. No. That's nope. Quit. Oh. Oh my. No. Where are you? Let's see here. Here. Okay. Quit. Okay. Yeah, yeah. We don't want to see all of the. We don't want to see all that. No, no, no. Yeah, that's a bit much. Okay, so oh wait, that should be an image file. But it's not. This is a framer file. Or is it? Nope, it's an image file. So what we want to do is we want to log in git frame. There we go. Nice, there we go, much better. Okay then. Nice, nice, nice. So now what we do here is we're going to set 2. 2. Okay, alright, alright. Now let's go ahead and quit. Okay, so let's get up here into the log real quick and see what happened when I've hit the button the first time. I hit the button the first time. We ended up logging 7, 8, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It did not do what we wanted at all. Why did it not do what we want? That is... why did it... You can see it right here in the log. It's, if you remember, the way that we have it set is that it's... Let's see... Maybe it's the image size. Maybe I need to decrease the image size. With how fast things are going, maybe I can actually get away with doing a transformation real quick and decreasing the resolution. Let's see here. Get over to Framer. 512 by 512. Actually, theoretically, this is not... yeah, these aren't 512 by 512. As much as I would like them to be, they are... It's not a perfect square. Alright then. Okay then, so if I set it to 528 and 592, alright. Well, actually, theoretically, we should, that shouldn't be a big problem right now. I was thinking decreasing the resolution that might solve the problem, but that's not what the problem is right now. The problem is the fact that... Actually, if you remember, I was holding the button down for a little bit, so let's see here. Let's see here, so... Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, it's working. When I hold the button down, it's working. That is the proper frames. When I push the button, though, at the very top, we're looking for 1, 1, and then 2. But it goes from 1, 1 straight into 7, 8. Okay, what happened to those other frames? And then here it goes 1, 1. So there's 2, 3, and then yeah, it's... So what's go... It doesn't look like the frames are making it to the... It's not being called at the same time. Like, I am show should be... Yeah, it seems like there's a disjunct. Yeah, it seems like there's a disjunct from... Because we call frame, which should then get us our said frame, and then we put it out. And then from here we do simply do active, or yeah. Okay, I don't understand. Why is there a problem? I think it has to do with I am show. Let's see here. I really do. I think it has to do with I am show. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Poe. And let's see if we can get some info. We'll also head over to the actual data. There we go. Here's Poe. Check it out. Here's Poe. Now you might be wondering, what is Poe? Poe is an AI tool. Because a lot of AI is banned in Hong Kong. I don't know why, but a lot of AI is banned in Hong Kong. So because of that, I have to use Poe, which is a bypass, or not even really a bypass. It's a company that supports all of the different AI models. Okay, so let's see here. In Python, generate code that will take a sequence of images, and we'll put in parentheses hello images, and output a live stream animation. There we go. So let's see here. And it just okay, it's now using Pygame. Actually, Pygame might actually be a good idea. It saves me having to use let's see here. I wonder actually if Pygame might be a better option. Okay then. It would definitely be better than spamming I am show. I want to tell it to shut up. I just... Like... Oh, okay. I just need the code. I don't need you any more fluff. So we initialize a game, we set the clock speed, we then will set a display window. Then from here we don't need to set the caption. We just need a display window. Let's see here. Then here they generate a sequence of images. I don't know why they're resizing. I don't know why they're converting to bits. They put it on Pygame image from string. Then they do a loop. This is all in their defined function. Okay, this is some pretty janky code. I like the idea of using Pygame. Let's see here. Do I have that installed? And I do not. Alright, let's install Pygame. Alright, so while Pygame is installing, you can see right there. See, it's installing. There we go. Pie game. Actually, it's done. All right, nice. So let's see here. Let's figure this out exactly. So this is our while loop for running. And in this case, after we time out, actually, let's see here. Event, if event get game, then quit. Pie game event get. Okay. All right, let's see here. It doesn't actually say what the event is. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's type this in. All right then. There we go. I wonder if that will help help improve things a bit. They still put everything in an argument, in a definition, or in a function. Be lit. Display flip. Event type. If event type equals pie quick. Okay then. All right. I think at this point in time the better option would be to actually just go check pie game. So the main thing here is we were originally using CV2, converting it, then using IMShow. Let's move out. Let's do something else. Let's do this real quick. Let's go to terminal. All right then. Let's see here. Let's see here. We want PyCharm. Projects. All right then. There we go. I don't want to add in local, so let's just go to, there we go. Oh, whoops. I missed a D. There we go. Okay, nice. So new file, testing ground. I don't. Yeah, we're gonna have to delete testing ground. All right then. Oh, what? Come on, there we go. Oh, poo on you. Okay then, find them. Actually, did I, Actually, wait. Did I just put this the wrong way? No, that is correct. It is correct. Animation. Testing ground. It's test ground, not testing. Okay. There. Alright then. Git, commit. Okay, okay. So update sequence builder to build animations. Add Bobble to or add presets. So add warp presets to framer. Add Bobble to sequencer. And then update enum. Update enum to output list of self. I think that might be most of it. Yeah, I think that might be most of it. All right then. So we've committed all of our changes. Okay then. Yeah. All right, so yeah, we committed all our changes. So now what we can do is we can start actually messing with more components. So since Pygame was brought up, we might want to look into Pygame instead. Because a Pygame potentially have what we're looking for. Plus, I won't be spamming I am show, which is what I've been trying to avoid. Actually, it's a bit annoying because when maybe it's because last time I asked. We should probably check. Let's do a quick peek.